Hi, welcome on to AFTV Transfer Daily here on a beautiful sunny day here, well, at least in the UK at the moment. And we got news finally yesterday from the manager Arsene Wenger as the players get ready and training. They've got, of course, got the big tour coming up in Singapore. And obviously on transfers, he's not going to give you a lot of information. But one of the things that he did say is that what he's doing at the moment is he's assessing the fitness of all of the Arsenal players. He wants to get all the Arsenal players and the whole squad as fit as he possibly can. And then he said after that, I'll then look at what quality signings I can go out there and get and add to the squad. A very sort of familiar sort of thing we'd hear coming out from Arsene Wenger. But what it does look like is that Arsenal are only, and I've suggested this quite a few times on the show, are only going to be going after players of real top quality to add to the squad because they just believe at the moment in the squad that they've got. They believe that they've got a very good team. They were very encouraged towards the end of the season, the long run of winning games that they went on. The fact that they won the FA Cup so easily in the end, they think they've got a brilliant squad over there, Arsene Wenger thinks. And he doesn't want to disturb the equilibrium of that squad. And if he's going to add players, it has to be players of real top quality. Now, could one of those players be Morgan Schneiderlin? Now, this is getting really interesting and again now. He was due to go to Manchester United. We all thought it was absolutely nailed on. Start of the window, Arsenal were favourites, but then quickly Manchester United moved in as favourites. It was said that even though he'd love to come to Arsenal, he liked the idea of going to Manchester United because he would be a regular starter in that team. His only competition would be Carrick, and of course Carrick is getting a little bit older. And Carrick also has quite a lot of injury problems. So he thought to himself that he'd be able to establish himself in that Manchester United team. However, right, big developments over at Manchester United. It looks like they're on the verge of buying Bastian Schweinsteiger. Now, if they buy Schweinsteiger, they're not good. Well, I very, very much doubt it that they're going to buy Schneiderlin as well. Remember, United were very unhappy about the sort of fee they were being quoted for Schneiderlin, and it looks like they thought to themselves, well, we'll go for Schweinsteiger instead. The German international, vastly experienced, will come in and just be able to jump straight into that role. So that sort of means that Schneiderlin's in a little bit of a conundrum at the moment. What does he do? Now, could it be that Manchester United, could it be now that Arsenal can make a move and go back in for Schneiderlin? We know that Arsene Wenger is a big admirer of Schneiderlin. And even though we've been told that Wenger wants Coquelin to be number one and he wants him to flourish in that position, and Arteta signed a new contract, there are rumours that Arsenal are looking to offload Flamini. Now, Schneiderlin coming in, Arsenal could play a bit of a waiting game if the fact that Manchester United drop out of the picture. That then makes Arsenal hot favourites to sign him, but they can play a waiting game. They can say, well, you know what? We ain't paying 25 million. We know that Schneiderlin would love to come to Arsenal because of Champions League football, it was really the first place he wanted to come to anyway. We'll just wait it out later on down into the transfer window. We'll do business with you, but not at 25 million. We're only going to give you, say, 20. We know Schneiderlin wants to go. He wanted to go last season. He stayed for an extra season. So this is a deal that could really have strong possibilities of being back on. And I personally think that getting Schneiderlin in would be a great piece of business for Arsenal. Strengthen up those areas. There's just two weak points as we see at the moment. One of them is defensive midfield. But not saying anything on Coquelin. Got a great player there that's going to have a great, I'm not worried about when he's in there, but just have great competition like what we've got in all the other areas. So Schneiderlin would be perfect, and then a striker. Bob's your uncle. We've got a team that can challenge. We're also being told today another defensive midfielder being linked with Arsenal is Mehmet Topal. Now, you may not know much about this guy, but he's a 29-year-old defensive midfielder. currently plies his trade for Fenerbahce over there in Turkey. And Turkish Eurosport have said that a mystery London club have made a £5 million bid for Mehmet Topal. The club's being quoted are Arsenal. They're also being quoted as the favourites as the team that have made the bid for him. Could that be because everybody knows that we're sort of could do with a defensive midfielder? Chelsea have also been linked in there, and Spurs. As I said, Topal cost about £5 million. Vastly experienced Turkish international. And we are on the look for another defensive midfielder. I would prefer somebody like Schneiderlin. Of course, Schneiderlin is going to be way, way more expensive than that. And the 29-year-old thing, again, you don't get much out of a player of that age. If you wanted to see the reasons why a lot of clubs don't like to go in for players sometimes that are too old, you only have to look at what's happened with Van Persie. The fact that they've only effectively had a season out of him, and then he was like, into his 30s, and now they're moving him on. If Van Persie would have been a younger player at United, I'm sure they would have held on for him for longer. Or when they went to sell him, they'd be able to get a really decent fee for him, whereas at the moment, they'll only get a very small nominal sort of fee for a player of that age. Other player, again today, where the links are flying around, and a lot of Arsenal fans will be happy about this, is Alexandre Lacazette. The Lyon coach has admitted, Hubert Fournier has admitted that, Lacazette could leave the club. They want to hold on to him. They're desperate to hold on to him, but they know he's, sought after. And quote coming from Hubert Fournier was, things can still change, he said. It's early in July. He was sort of commenting and saying that, listen, Lacazette has not said he wants to leave. He's happy here. He wants to stay. He's had a great season, but things can still change. It's still early in July, so they're under no illusions that clubs are hovering, clubs are swarming. Of course, they will hold out for a very, very big fee, and that is a thing. We all want. We're all interested in this Lacazette thing. We all get excited about Lacazette coming to Arsenal, but they will hold out for a big, big fee for Lacazette. And a lot of that will boil down to whether Arsene Wenger will be willing to pay the sort of money it's going to take to get a player like Lacazette, because there'll be many other clubs who will be in for him, many other clubs that will be interested in bringing him out because he's an exciting young talent. David Ospina yesterday also admitting that he could be on the move. He said he wants to stay and fight for his place. He said he's happy that he's in a team with a great goalkeeper like Petr Cech. But also when asked about the links linking him with a move to Everton, he said it's a great possibility. So that's a big suggestion that that is a deal that could happen. And again, I said yesterday, I think that would be a great deal for Czech, not for Czech, a great deal for Ospina if he moved on to Everton. I think he could have a great career there. He could have a long career there, and I think the Everton fans would love him up there. And I really like the way this guy has conducted himself. Raheem Sterling out there. Look at this guy, Ospina, the way he's conducted himself. The guy's gone away to the Copa America as the Arsenal goalkeeper, comes back, he's now number 2. They've gone out there, they only bought him last year. He got into the team, good run of games, hasn't done anything wrong, he's lost his place to a great keeper like Petr Cech, but he's kept his dignity, he's kept his cool, he hasn't gone out there and started, running up his mouth. He must be upset. Only natural as a human being that you must be upset that Arsenal have gone out there and have bought in a goalkeeper that basically means that you're going to be number 2 or 3, or basically Arsenal are saying to him, listen, we're going to have to sell you, mate, sorry, after one season. He brought his family all the way over from when he was in France, brought them over here. It's not worked, and he hasn't done anything wrong, but he's kept his dignity, and that's what I really respect about David Ospina, how he's conducted himself throughout this whole thing. And if he was to go to Everton, that would be a great, great move for him, and one where he can continue to flourish. And on the Petr Cech thing, great to see him in training yesterday. Check out there. You can see him there with the new Premier League ball as well there. He's got his hands on it. Look at that grip. Yes, hold on to that. He's got his trademark helmet on there. Petr Cech is a gooner. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him performing for Arsenal. And certainly it's exciting times. It's exciting times. If we could add a few more players to this team, I'm telling you, it really is a team that can do something. But good to see Petr Cech in there. And just on that, just to remind everybody that on Tuesday, we're going to be on our website, arsenalfantv.com. We're going to be having a live screening of the launch of the brand new Arsenal Puma kit that's going to feature a load of Arsenal players. It's happening over there in Singapore. If you want to watch that live, we had an unprecedented amount of people who watched the last launch live. Or if you want to watch this launch live, it's going to be on Tuesday evening. Make sure you check it out on arsenalfantv.com. I'll give you more details of that, of the times and everything closer to the date, which is going to be on Tuesday. Let's get into some of your comments on yesterday's and today's news. BF Fredo says, selling Ozil after he's settled comfortably into the pace and physicality of the Premier League would be crazy. It's a silly rumour, and I agree with him 100%. Of course, we commented on that rumour yesterday where Juventus are apparently interested in acquiring Ozil if they lose Pogba and they lose Vidal. Absolutely no way that's going to happen. And yeah, you're spot on there, mate, with everything you said. Mr. FF1 says the Schweinsteiger deal to United could be good news for us. We might get Schneiderlin for a lower price, and it'll offer serious competition to Coquelin. Exactly what we were just talking about at the top of the show. The deal's back on as far as I'm concerned. That deal is definitely back on. It's definitely a possibility. It would probably boil all the way down to price. I mean, there's other clubs he could go to. We know that Tottenham want him. He used to play under Pochettino, but he wants to play in the Champions League. He doesn't want to be there on a Thursday night with Tottenham. So let's see what happens with that one. But I think that's a deal that's going to run down. It's going to be a lot of negotiation, money. It's got to be lowered. There's a lot of factors. Still a long, long way to getting a deal like that done, but there's a possibility. Daniel Victor says, indirectly, the signing of Marco Reus may just fix our striker problems. He'd be world-class. He's be a world-class winger, but he'd be able to convert him or put Theo up front as a fully-fledged striker. Jabari says, Benzema would be so ideal. I agree with you on that one. Wax Wayne says, I understand your love for Ozil, but Vidal is better than the German. Just look how many goals he scored last season versus Messi. You want to win the league, then he goes, we should go for Vidal and sell Ozil. I'm sorry, mate. I'm not having that at all. Different types of players. And listen, Ozil is a world-class performer. He's won the World Cup. This guy, and as that guy right at the start said, we're just starting now to see the best of him. He's taken a little while to settle. Towards the end of last season, he was devastating. In that cup final, he ran the show. Listen, this guy now, next year is going to be his year, Ozil. He is not going anywhere. Mesut Sanchez says, Benzema would win us the title. With Higuain, we'd finish fourth. So he's not too keen, obviously, on getting Higuain. Jordan Smith says, but lads, Schweinsteiger to Manchester United, all that experience, Herrera and Depay are going to thrive so much if United get him. I kind of don't understand that signing. As a short-term signing, Schweinsteiger to Manchester United, yes, but the guy's 31. Why are they buying a 31-year-old? It's a real strange signing to me. Why buy and selling Schweinsteiger, first of all? A club legend. Why are they selling him? You know, these guys, they only sell club legends like, you know, when they're on the slide. So it's a bit like Real Madrid selling Casillas. They know he's on the slide. They're willing to let him go. I think this is the same thing with Schweinsteiger. And I don't know, it's a real strange signing for Manchester United. I thought they would have went for somebody younger. I thought Schneiderlin would be perfect for them. But Schweinsteiger, going to them, if it opens the door for us to get Schneiderlin, I really don't mind. And finally, I'm going to finish with this one. It's FROS 7BI7E says Lacazette is not a gamble, he says. At least in comparison, don't get me wrong, he's not guaranteed to come in and score 20 goals in his first season. But Benzema and Higuain didn't do that in their first season either. Listen, I'll be happy with Lacazette. It'd be one thing for sure, it'd be a really exciting signing for Arsenal. But we're going to have to wait and see. Thanks for watching AFTV Transfer Daily. We'll be back tomorrow around about the same time, leaving you finally again with this picture of Petr Cech in training.